Hi, everyone. My name is Akea Brown. I'm here to talk to you all about elderly and disaster management. And basically, what do they do? Because of technology and technology and healthcare advancement, we are now living into our hundreds, right? So now it's like this massive population of the elderly community that lives, in assisted living facilities, elderly communities like the 55 plus communities. They're living in, nursing homes or hospice, things of that nature. So, what happens when a natural disaster occurs, or just any hazardous disaster occurs? What do they do? How do we plan for that? Who plans for them? And those are the things I'm going to be talking about with you all today. So I want to talk about a study that was done, one of the first of its kind, in 2014, the latter of in the beginning of 2015. It was done Dr by Dr. Wallace and Dr. Rubenstein, and the two collaborated with the epidemiology department in Iowa and created this national survey. And basically, they had about a total of 1,300 participants and a means of 70 average age. And basically, they wanted to find out the levels of initiative to find information about when a disaster occurs from that population, and the level of preparedness plans that are in place for them. So basically, of those participants, 34% of them actually took initiative and actually read some and went to some educational programs about about to learn about what to do when a disaster occurs, and about 15% of that population, very high number, depends on the depends on electricity and power for their sustainability of their livelihood, right? So this is such a high vulnerability population because of the especially in nursing homes and or disabled elderly, in terms of what to do when the disaster occurs, transportation, resources, technology, power, those things that are needed. So Florida, I'm going to step on over to Florida. Florida has prepared, in several counties, has prepared elderly disaster management plans that needed to be, that are readily available. And I'm going to go ahead and show you on. Let's go ahead and describe a little bit about it. So, what you all are seeing here is a disaster preparedness guide for elders created by Florida, and also some CDC information, what to do prior to disaster happens. But also within this forum, in this kit, is also a disaster plan guide for when you're at home, work, or car, wherever you are, what to do. And also just a kit checklist on what they have, what they may need, resources, and also just a contact information, that a paper form that it can fill in. And this is really good because some may not like or that are into technology. But let's not also forget the elderly population that has extenuating disabilities, such as being deaf or blind. How can they prepare for disasters also in this form? And I really think this is a really good guide to follow through that Florida has created. So now we've seen what Florida has to offer, and what services or templates that they have to help the elderly plan for disaster. But what happens when facilities don't abide by these plans? As I've stated before, Florida does have disaster management preparedness plans for the elderly communities. However, it is up to the facilities to abide by them entirely. For a case in point, Irma last year in September, the nursing home facility there reported to the Broward County Emergencies Operations Center that the generator had died, but they did not report that they needed any resources. They had a total of 152 patients, and 8 of those patients were pronounced dead due to heat related illnesses, breathing difficulties, and dehydration. These things could have been prevented had the facility taken the initiative to follow the plans, to follow the prepared policies that Broward County has stated for them. Now, these plans are not mandatory. However, they should have been taken very literally, and this could have saved lives. So, to wrap up my elderly and disaster segment, I have two suggestions, and one being drills. Drills need to be implemented in our disaster management response because it can let us know, inform us where we are, where we need to be, and how can we respond in and to the elderly during a disaster. And my second suggestion would be transportation. Not everyone, not all the elderly live in nursing homes, assisted living facilities, 55 plus communities. Some live on their own and are able bodied, but may not have a car. So I think that during a disaster, we need to keep a record of these individuals, and that way we can go and get them and house them until the disaster is over. So those are just my two suggestions. And I hope that you guys learned a lot, and thank you for watching.